am I speaking to right now?
Cameron.
My name
Cameron.
is
Cam Buford.
I'm a Dolphin fan.
That's me, Cameron Buford, working as a sports writer for the Los Angeles News-Observer. I enjoyed this role because it allowed me to combine my love for sports with storytelling. However, I wasn't always a sports writer, though my passion for competition and sports started long before then. You see, growing up in a single-parent home with my dad, it was like guys' night out every night. Smack talking over a game of cards, dominoes, or backgammon was an every night occurrence. On a field similar to this one behind me is where I learned to harness that uber competitiveness.
As a little guy, Rainier Playfield was a place many kids in the south end of Seattle went during the summer to get off the streets and participate in the various activities they had to offer. Playing sports was the activity I enjoyed the most. Not only did I make a lot of friends at Rainier Playfield, I learned some valuable life lessons that would serve me well in the various stages of my life. I learned the value of persistence, hard work, teamwork, and most importantly, leadership. As some of you may know, if one person messes up on the team, the entire team has to pay. So motivating and inspiring my teammates to stay focused on the goal was a role that I welcomed. These attributes became beneficial while working with others as I started my own residential painting company years ago. And even more so in my role as an award-winning sales manager managing a group of men and women in Los Angeles for a Fortune 500 company. As a big believer in growth and development, I believe athletes display this in their journey year in and year out and season after season. And I've always wanted to chronicle and highlight this portion of their journey, as well as sharing the stories of them giving back to their respective communities and paying it forward. Largely because I believe far too often these stories get swept under the rug, ignored, and underreported. My desire to share these stories fueled my venture into journalism. Fortunately for me, as a sports writer in Los Angeles, I got to share some of these stories and interview some of the most notable figures in the world of sports. Here are some of the highlights of that journey, which earned me a fellowship with AL.com and brought me to Birmingham, Alabama.
Could you talk about what it means to the mind, to focus on the mind and getting them mentally tough, mentally prepared for their journey to become professional athletes?
Well, it happens in increments. I think that's something that I think a lot of coaches at the youth level or parents at the youth level miss.
Aaron, what has the game of baseball taught you?
It's taught me quite a bit. But I think one of the biggest things is being humble.
Was there a particular switch or a particular moment that you noticed that the tide turned, if you will?
I'm not gonna talk about that.
That's a really good question.
If you play this game and you don't turn to win a championship, then why are you playing for?
You're old enough to watch him take it down and do a thing.
Right.
Now, did you have to say, come on, son?
Hey, no, we talking about on the other end now.
Okay.
When jobs on offense.
Is that a big adjustment for you to kind of rely on the other guys to kind of take center or play center stage, if you will?
Yeah, but for us to win, that's what I got to do.
When he said it's easier to score in the NBA versus Europe, did you agree with them?
To me, it's easy to score all over the world.
Let that loyalty for a moment. I'm standing there to try to make a change. Give back to the youth, give back to my community and show them that there is hope that you can make it out. Only thing is you just got to be dedicated. You got to keep your head down and stay on this course that you're heading towards.
The fact that my childhood idol knows my name is almost unbelievable. This journey has allowed me to cover the NFL in London and even travel Europe with my mom and her older sister. You can keep up with my journey by subscribing to my Voice of the Fans YouTube page and tuning into the Voice of the Fans podcast, which is streamed weekly on most streaming platforms.
Hey man, thanks for making our voice your choice. You know how we do.